not about it. Okay, the Constitution was written when we weren't considered as citizens. So it's not written for us and for our, for us to have rights. And systemically, that still happens today because our principles, for the most part, are still based on the Constitution.
Right.
So
right.
What are we doing to go into the system and say, okay, let's throw this out. Let's throw this out. Let's put this in. Let's throw that out. That's what I haven't so much seen. Whereas, the best example I can give is at one point the LGBT community was not only frowned upon,
right,
but they couldn't get married. They couldn't. Fast forward,
sure,
here we are in 2016. It's starting to become, somewhat acceptable. Right. In some states they can get married.
Right.
Like there has been through, an 8-year process, there has been tangible improvement.
Right.
So I can't say that I've seen such in the black community. And, round of applause for that.
Is some of it our own doing, though?
No, because we don't control what happens in the system. We can't go. We don't know how to, go into the system and say.
But how
do you mean?
I mean, is some of it our doing because some of the reactions, and look, every group has a set of bad apples. Even the LGBT community has a set of bad apples.
Yeah.
The police department has a set of bad apples. White people have a set of bad apples. The black community, we have a set of bad apples.
Why are our bad apples sitting out more than everybody else's bad apples?
Media.
No.
Part of it is media.
Well, sure, but that's not
the main reason.
That's not the main reason.
I know. I agree with you.
Okay,
there. I'm just throwing out. I'm just throwing out reasons.
No,
media is one.
The problem is that if you from Brooklyn, New York, I'm from Southeast Washington D.C. When you put a bunch of people, not white, not black, people, in fucked up conditions and with no visible means, no tangible means. That's not to say that can't nobody ascend from the hood and whatever. But there's no blueprint. We don't. There's no resources. They don't have people. We don't have workshops on financial literacy. We don't have workshops on, how to tie a tie or how to do a job interview or how to write a resume for the most part.
Agree.
Those things aren't pushed. We don't have, situations for the kids where, to stay off the streets, you can stay here. And
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? We don't have that.
I agree.
So you put any race of people in those conditions and, motherfuckers is likely to start robbing to feed their own.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
I think Dr. Umar said something to that, not in his interview with Breakfast Club, but he said that in some documentary.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Okay, I'm hungry, I'm starving, and you might not be as hungry or starving, or you might be, but at the same time, I don't care about what you thinking because I'm so hungry and starving. So I'm gonna go get what you got, and you know what I'm saying. So it's the media. What the media is responsible for is painting the picture of what's happening, and what they're wrong in doing is sometimes they make the issue, they push the issue to be bigger than what it is.
Exactly.
But there wouldn't be an issue for them to exaggerate if the conditions weren't there.
Okay, so we're talking about conditions by our system.
I'm talking about the project.
Sure. The project.
I'm talking about the drug epidemic.
Sure.
I'm talking about the hood.
But I think you and I agree that those conditions exist because of our government in some ways.
Right. So my point is that we have the problem is in the institution. And I don't know that Barack Obama is or has properly addressed the institution. I think that's what my point is.
Right.
Melania Trump, Michelle Obama is such a good person, you know, and was such a good person for the White House and politics and things like that. Donald Trump's wife at the Republican National Convention basically plagiarized Michelle Obama's speech. You didn't hear about this?
I did.
Of course. Yeah. So,
of course.
I mean, that's how good Michelle Obama is at what she do. Like, the next person trying to get in her spot took her speech and Jai almost read it verbatim.
But Melania really, I don't know how, is that how you say her name? Melania?
I think so. Melania, something, whatever.
Yeah, she really looked like she didn't know what she was doing at that point. Like she was just reading through a teleprompter, which she probably was doing. She was.
I mean, to be honest, which all of them do, but
at
least the words feel heartfelt when, you know, certain people deliver them. You know what I'm saying?
Because, depending on who you are.
Well, because maybe they're heartfelt when they say them. But, you know, so I did want to shout out my man Lou Holtz at the Republican National Convention. My man was sipping Crown Royal all through the joint. It was a picture I saw on the internet where he was kind of cuffing his bottle of Crown Royal in the bag. So shout out to him. I mean, I guess being a Republican causes him to drink. I don't know, but he was getting it in. He definitely looked like he was lit. Shout out to him.
There was one thing that kind of drove me to drink during that Republican convention. There was a lady with a sign. It wasn't a sign. It was actually like a little blanket cloth. And she had on there, "No racism, no hate." And there were clips of this going around on social media. She was basically kind of doing a little protest by herself.
Okay.
Next thing you know, you got all these other guys coming in trying to block her, trying to yank her blanket with her message on it, trying to yank, like one elderly lady was trying to yank the thing off her. And I'm sitting there like grandma trying to, you know, get thorough or whatever.
Yeah.
So next thing you know, this guy comes in, he's got the American flag, and he puts the American flag over the lady with the sign.
Yeah.
He puts the flag over the sign saying "No racism, no hate."
Right.
Now, if that don't tell you that we got some racial issues in this country, then I don't know what will.
Well, I guess my rebuttal to that, and not necessarily rebuttal, but racism still exists.
Absolutely.
I don't think that's a real question. But I think in 2016, with the more pertinent issue is how much of the racism is truly hatred and how much of the racism is institutionalized.
Systemic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And again, it all kind of comes back to, the presidency, his Barack Obama's tenure.
Right.
I don't know that. I'm not accusing him because, again, I'm not super into that shit. I'm just not.
Right.
But it doesn't seem like he's taken steps into attacking that system, that institution.
Right. I'm wondering if he's taken steps to attack it, and I always have to remember how this works in terms of you being the president, you have your Congress, and you have your people in line, whatever. No matter how many things he tried to push out there, and he's tried to push for a lot of things, and time after time again, just kept getting blocked by Congress to get things done.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if one of those things was trying to change some things systemically to put more resources in neighborhoods that you and I grew up in.
Maybe.
And maybe Congress is sitting there like, yo, we got bigger fish to fry. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I don't know either. I don't know either. One thing I will say in Barack Obama's defense, though, it's not like, we want to paint him to be the ruler of the free world, and it's not quite as simple. It's not quite that simple. There is a process that he does have to go through with a barrage of different people who are conditioned to the system. So it's not like he could just go out here and start, attacking and shit is going to change. It's a process. And so in his defense, I will say that it's not like this is not something that can change over 8 years.
Right. And it's nothing new. I mean, Bush went through it. Clinton went through it with some things. It's nothing new. And whoever's going to be president this coming 8 years, hopefully it's just 4, they going to go through the same thing. They're going to try to push for some stuff. Some people are going to be happy, and some people just going to be disappointed.
Yeah. So I was watching. So let me be very clear. I wasn't watching the Republican National Convention. I saw this on social media. What I was watching was the USA Olympic game, the basketball game that day, or that night rather, where they played. I think they played China.
I think it was China.
Okay, where they beat them by 50, or somewhere close to 50 points. And I got to thinking, because I texted you and asked you, was you watching it, and you was like, nah, I ain't watching it. And I was watching it because, it was some semblance of sports.
Right.
And, needless to say, it got downright ugly. DeMar DeRozan was like trying to 360 dunk on people.
Right.
So I got to thinking, would it be disrespectful for NBA players to no longer play in the Olympics, and we get like, college players or D-League players? The reason why I'm asking, or the reason why I thought about this is because, okay, here we are, no basketball, no football. We need some type of sports.
Sure.
And
no disrespect to baseball.
No disrespect to baseball at all. But y'all just, if you are hip to how baseball is played, you're excited. If you're just looking for sports to entertain you,
it's just a sport
you're
that's
just not
great to watch on TV.
Yeah.
Now, I want to go to the game. I want to go to the ballpark, but watching it on TV is sometimes hard to do.
Yeah, and it reminds me, I was watching this baseball game a few weeks ago, and the guys up at plate, and they was interviewing somebody's mother, like a player's mother,
right?
Like not like, oh, they talking, but the camera's on the action,
right?
The camera was on the mother and the interviewer while a whole sequence was happening. And it was like salt to the wound that nothing happened. Like I think he ended up getting walked or something.
Right.
And like it was like,
was the mother in the stands?
Yeah, the mother was in the stands.
Okay.
The mother was in the stands. They was interviewing the mother. But normally, like, for instance, in football, unless it's the Pro Bowl or something, if there's an interview going on during the game, it's still on the game. The cameras are on the game because you don't want to miss. You going to miss something.
Play, right.
You're going to miss something if you're not on the game.
Right.
Baseball, the culture of baseball is so, they're confident that if we put the camera on the lady, we're not going to miss nothing in the game. That's the only reason I can imagine they would do that.
Which is why they're the third sport in this country right now.
Yeah, and yeah. But all that to my point. We need some type of exciting sports right now. Right now.
If you're a soccer,
and I get it, this is only like, well, I'm not. If you love soccer, then I ain't talking to you. I'm talking about our demographic right now that don't really, me and you, our demographic, for the most part, we don't watch a whole bunch of baseball on TV. Again, me and you agree. We love going to games.
Not regular season.
Yeah, we love going to games. But not soccer. You could trick me into it if I'm hanging.
My father-in-law
my
loves
Campaneros. I know I'm probably saying that wrong. If I'm like my boy A-Train, like he had me watching soccer.
Right.
Like that's what he's into soccer. Like if you with him, you're watching soccer. There's no way around it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So to that capacity, if I'm watching it with somebody that know what the fuck they're talking about, cool. Outside of that, like right now, me sitting here drinking a beer, I don't want to watch it.
Yeah, I can't get with the soccer either. I mean, my father-in-law is so much into it, and he's born and raised in Haiti, so they got the Haitian soccer team, and even the the Jamaicans, everybody in the West Indies got their soccer teams. They love it. They die for it.
Perfect sense. Me, on the other hand,
I can't get with it.
So the